Hi, welcome or welcome back to Books and Bocadillos. My name is Maria Andrea, and this is a weekend review video. I posted yesterday that I wasn't able to record yesterday, so I'm recording on Monday, November 18th, and my weekend review is going to cover the week of November 11th to November 17th. And we're just gonna try to forget that there was an election week. Okay, so at least for my sanity for this video. Highs and lows. Again, I'm not going to be referencing the election in my highs and lows. I'm going to think of things other than. So, hi. Yesterday was Sunday, and I got to have like a family breakfast. My mom invited my brother and myself and our spouses and his kids to breakfast at my mom's house, and she cooked for us, and I'm so grateful that I have that in my life. So we had a really nice family breakfast, and it's really good food, and I had a great time. I enjoyed being in the company of my family. So for me, that was probably the biggest high of the week. And supper club. Supper club is always a high. Lows of the week. Well, coming back from conference, so I was at a conference the previous week. I took days off of work, so yeah, I came back to a lot of catching up to do, and I'm still catching up, and I've worked late every day since I've been back since last Monday. It's like every day I work late, just because there's a lot going on, and it's a short month. The month of November is a short month with the holiday. And taking time off for the conference, it just all piled on. And the time change. And life is busy. The fall season, it's a great season, but it's just horribly busy. I wish things would just quiet down a notch. And I wish it was like 20 degrees cooler. Today was like a high of 95 or something like that. So it's mid-November and we're still in the 90s, and I like wore flip-flops all weekend and short sleeve, and it's like I never finish wearing my summer clothes. Okay, community post. So I posted about Supper Club yesterday just to let y'all know that I wasn't going to be able to have time to record my weekend review video yesterday. And I posted the recipes from yesterday's Supper Club, with the exception of the cookie, because it was a cookie that my friend bought from our favorite local baker. We love ambrosia. And I did a tag. So next, I'm looking down at my notes here. So for a tag, I did the International Booktuber tag last week. And that'd been a few months in the works. So I was glad to get that posted, and hopefully you learned something about me that you didn't already know, and hopefully I helped you find other international booktubers to follow and support. For the books I've read. So since my last week in review, these are all the books that I've read. I have read Forever by Judy Blume. Forever is a banned book. It is a YA short novel about first love and first conversations about sex. And It addresses sex education. It addresses safe sex. It addresses teen pregnancy. It addresses venereal diseases, STDs. It addresses access to birth control. And it has sex scenes that are very well written, I think, and very realistic. So, I think the ban is for how effective this book is at having conversations that people in government and other community leaders don't want kids to be having, but we cannot rely on abstinence as the sole conversation that we're having with young adults and children. We have to, I think, teach children from a very young age about their anatomy and of course, and it starts talking about anatomy and safe touch and what's appropriate, what's not appropriate for young children, and what to do when. But I think as children grow into young adults and they start being curious about sex and they start falling in love and they start having intimate encounters with partners, I think that books like these are a good thing to have. I wish I had this. I mean, it was out when I was a teen, but let me see when it was published originally. Oh no, it wasn't out when I was a teen. Was it? Yeah, it was. Original copyright was in 1975. So yeah, this was out when I was a teen, but I didn't read it. I wish I had known about it. I don't remember seeing this in school. And maybe I just thought I was too old for Judy Blume because I associated Judy Blume with like Super Fudge and like all the Fudge books and those children's books. But yeah, forever. I haven't rated it because I don't know that I want to rate this book. I just wish it wasn't banned because I think it's well written and it has honest conversations with young adults about sex. Then I also read More Than You'll Ever Know by Katie Gutierrez. Y'all, I read this book and absolutely loved it. I listened to the audiobook. I ordered it immediately after I finished it because I rated it 5 stars. It was a great, great book. I will have to do a standalone review on it. I'm super excited to do that. But I'm waiting for my physical copy to come in because I'm adding it to my library. It's a book that I just thoroughly enjoyed and can't wait to tell you more about it. It's a debut novel too, which is amazing. Like it's the best feeling to find a new debut novel from like a new to me author, new to the world author, and just be so awestruck and amazed by the talent, the writing, and have a new author to look forward to. So that's like one of the best feelings in my reading life. I also read Tuya. In English, the title is All Yours by Claudia Piñeiro, and this is a book I read with my Piñeiro Project pals on Boxer. And I'll link my friends in the group in the description box. But we read All Yours. I read the Spanish Tuya, and I loved it. It's a 5-star book for me as well. And yeah, I think I'm going to wait until I finish the sequel to it to talk more about it, because I want to have those 2 books reviewed. I also read this little pamphlet here. I got this at Powell's when I went to visit Powell's in September. It's What Guinea Pigs Can Teach Us About Life, How Sleeping Piggies Show Rest as Resistance and Yawning as Care by Virginia Cafaro. And it's such a cute little pamphlet. It's like a zine. I loved it. It made me want to adopt some guinea pigs. Some because you can't just have one guinea pig, they get lonely. So it was such a cute book. It talks about guinea pigs and learning about rest. And when guinea pigs yawn, it's their way of saying I love you. So it's just the cutest. Yeah. Do you have guinea pigs as pets? I'm just wondering if you do, if you love having your guinea pigs. Any tips that you have in case I decide to adopt a few guinea pigs? So those are the books that I read. For my currently reading, I am currently reading Season of the Swamp by Yuri Herrera. This is a short book, but I'm taking my time with it because I'm kind of just picking it up here and there, bits and pieces. Sometimes I was reading this at night a couple of weeks ago, but then I stopped reading at night, and I'm still in like the first fourth of the book. I am almost done. This doesn't show my progress, but I'm listening to the audiobook and then I'm coming back to the text to catch up. But I'm reading The Weaver and the Witch Queen by Genevieve Gornichec. I'm probably two-thirds done with the book. I probably will finish this week, and this is a buddy read that I had with Melinda at a Whip of Stories. She's finished this book. She's talked about it on her channel, so if you want to know more about her experience reading this book, you can check that out. But I have been taking my time with it because it's a fantasy. I think it's like a kind of a fantasy book. It reminds me of a video game, like kind of like Valhalla or The Witcher, like those kinds of video games that my husband likes to play. The storyline kind of feels a little bit like that. So it was going into a whole world and it was feeling like an escapist read, and I really was having a hard time escaping the realities of the current times. So it was hard for me to get into it. I have a hard time with escapist reads when I'm going through stressful times. I kind of need to read the gritty stuff, help me cope. I am still reading Los Monstruos, Felice and the Wailing Witch by The Wailing Woman by Diana López. I picked that up before Halloween and I haven't picked it up since. But I still want to finish it. I don't have a copy here because I think I have it in my car. I've been traveling with it everywhere I go. Beartown by Fredrik Backman. I am reading this for the Ellen Made Book Club, and I'm behind. I think the discussion has already started, and I haven't watched those videos because I don't want to be spoiled. But I will get to those videos from Ellen and the other booktubers participating in the Beartown book club pick. I'm also still reading Never Let Me Go by Kazuo Ishiguro. That one comes and goes off my Kindle because it's through the Libby app. But I'm getting there. I think I'll for sure finish by the end of the year. And The Reason I Jump by Naoki Higashida. And this is for November, which is hosted. It's a new booktube event hosted by Kat at Curious Cat. She has a whole like bingo card and prompts, and my mantra for the month of November is be laid back. So I'm hoping to do 2 books about neurodiversity, and this is one of them. So we'll see how I do. And I haven't DNF'd. I haven't like seriously DNF'd any books. There are books that I leave behind, but not forever. Just maybe I take a break for a little while and then I'll get back to them eventually. For community events, I mentioned the Claudia Piñeiro book club on Voxer, and I'll link the friends in that group down below. Ellen at Ellen Meet Book Club, doing that Beartown reading. I think that they're going to go ahead and read the following books, but I'm not ready to make that decision just yet. I need to finish Beartown first. And then I mentioned Curious Cat, a Curious Cat near November event. For a podcast that I might recommend, do you listen to Assembly Required with Stacy Abrams? If you're in the US or you're into American politics, it is a political podcast, but you know, I'm finding joy in it, and I'm liking it. I'm really digging it. In today's, well, I listened to this episode today, but maybe it was posted yesterday. At the end, Stacey Abrams talked about community and doing one's work in the community, and she talked about starting a podcast or starting a YouTube channel, and I have been inspired to make some updates and changes to my booktube channel, which I'll probably talk about in another video. Or maybe I could talk about that in a little bit, but I was listening to her and it was resonating with what I was thinking and feeling. And at the end of the podcast episode, she gave some book recommendations. And Stacey Abrams is a writer and she's an avid reader. And I really love that she gave these book recommendations. Check out the podcast, but in case you don't, the book recommendations that she gave are What You Are Looking For is in the Library by Michiko Aoyama, and The Dead Cat-Tail Assassins by P. Jelly Clark. So I had heard of P. Jelly Clark, but I hadn't heard of The Dead Cat-Tail Assassins, and I'd never heard of What You Are Looking For is in the Library by Michiko Aoyama. So those are added to my TBR, and let me know if you've read any of those and what you think. I'm really curious, and I am wanting to check them out soon. For recipes, I've already shared that with you in my community post yesterday, and I'm looking forward to, so I guess I'll talk a little bit about some of the things that I'm thinking of doing. So I've been kind of mentioning this bit by bit, but when I was at conference, I was sitting in a session about Operation Lone Star in my home state of Texas. And you can Google Operation Lone Star, Texas, and you'll get to, see what I'm talking about. But essentially, it involves some initiatives that promote racial profiling or anti-immigrant initiatives. And as an immigrant myself, I really care about immigrant stories. And so I was thinking about what is my work to do? What are some small ways that I can raise awareness or can share just perspective, right? So I was thinking that maybe my work to do is to lean in to my interests and read more by own voices authors, BIPOC authors, read more especially Latino, Latinx, Latina, however you prefer. Read those voices, read the voices of immigrants, and read the voices of people all over Latin America, and even Latin Americans in the US, and shed light on our history, on our communities. We're not a monolith. There's so much diversity. We might share some cultural similarities, but there's also some nuances and differences, and I want to read more of those stories and share more of those nuances and give people stories with perspective. So with like a different kind of perspective. So that's what I would like to do. So I'm going to be looking forward to working on some book reviews, and I already have a project in mind. So I am going to be starting a series soon here on my channel, and it's going to be a series on telenovela tropes. Telenovela tropes. I was going to say prompts, but no. So I'm going to be talking about what are telenovela tropes, what are current recent reads I've read that have telenovela elements or telenovela tropes in the storylines, and do like standalone reviews for those books, and some really exciting things. I cannot wait. I already have like a series plan. Actually, it started a few weeks back when I fell. I think I mentioned in a weekend review video that I had fallen. I ended up at the urgent care, and I'm sitting there with my journal, and I'm just making notes on like telenovela tropes and preparing to make a video on what is a telenovela and what kinds of telenovela tropes do we see in literature, in like modern day literature. And I was so excited. I have my notes and I cannot wait to get stuff recorded for you. I hope you watch and I hope you enjoy. And I hope that it leads to more discussions and maybe a deeper appreciation for telenovela tropes in literature. And yeah, so that is it for today. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking, subscribing, being here. I will talk to you soon. Hasta la próxima.